Hello? Now, I want you to imagine, in fact some of you don't have to imagine this because you'll have seen this. If you live in Pakistan or you've gone to a country in the global south, you may have seen this. Women and children in the heat at the roadside actually trying to hitch a lift or walking or carrying a huge load. You may have read the statistics on sexual harassment, particularly of women on public transport, and how that impacts on them, in fact, how unsafe women feel. And there has recently been an Asian World Bank report on this that shows that it's the lack of safe transport that is a barrier for women's employment. In the UK, we have a similar problem. When I go to the supermarket near me, I see particularly women from very, very low incomes who are having to spend the money they barely have on taxis to get their shopping home, because in order to have cheap food you need to be able to buy in bulk, and this is the only way that they can do it, or they're having to walk, because the cheapest transport is in that Oxford Road corridor. It's not in the side roads for people that actually live in that area. And there has also been a report on youth unemployment, and it's transport that is the barrier, and it is not to mention people with disabilities who are bound to the areas in which they live and not able again to work because they haven't got access to transport. If you work, it means that your income is raised, which means that you can feed into our taxation, which means that you'll be able to afford better water or to contribute to our infrastructure.
Okay, just to add for why we need to develop this system, we know that the population growth in Peshawar results in increase in demand for road network, and this leading to increased traffic congestions, and also accident and road asset deterioration. This highlighting the need for a smart, sustainable green transport system. So again, the increasing traffic congestion and the state of the Peshawar's road infrastructure, they are directly impacting the quality of life and economic productivity, and also social development. So now smart cities technologies are helping to improve the efficiency and safety and reliability of how more we can how more affordable that we can manage transportation. Here we have the IoT to use to help us create more affordable and sustainable mobility choices. This will lead again to strengthen the investment climate and enhance economic growth. So our proposed smart Peshawar transportation, Peshawar and Manchester transportation system project will aim to develop a smart city-based model that integrates various technologies. And I'm moving on to
proposed solution to problems that we just heard of Hazara and Demand. But right off the bat, I want to clarify that we don't want to, and we're not aiming to replace the public transportation system. That is still the key, that is still the main objective. What we want to do is complement the public transport system. You see, public transport system only takes us from a fixed point A to a fixed point B. It does not have the flexibility of covering all the rest of the area. So what we are proposing here is a smart IoT-based smart system that is flexible enough to take us beyond where the public transportation cannot take us. So the second challenge that we have, or the objective that we are going to address, is to reduce or discourage the car ownership. We want less and less cars on the roads, and we have seen in case of UK, we talked about yesterday, that because of the car culture, a lot of people have cars and everybody is only riding one person in each of the cars. So we have seen this. For example, all my colleagues here would know that when you go from Hayatabad to the main campus of the university, you would see a lot of cars, huge cars like Land Cruisers, Egos, and even smaller cars, each one of them carrying at most 1 or 2 passengers. While all of these people, during the rush hour, yes, and all of these people can fit very comfortably in a public transport that will take them somewhere. So we need to reduce and disguise the car ownership. And to do that, we have to implement a ride-share technology in which people can share the rides. And this system is not, the idea is not novel. It is being used everywhere, but we want to somehow put it in such a way that it addresses all the challenges that it will have. Because we know there are culture and other kind of challenges associated with sharing the rights. And the system that we are proposing will address all of these challenges. The foremost of them is the security challenge. And the third objective we want to achieve with this is the inclusion of the marginalized groups, especially women, children, and people with disabilities. And to include the people who are not digitally aware or do not have the, either by choice or by circumstance, they don't have the option of using digital technology. And the fourth feature that we will be implementing here is the sustainability of the whole project. And the way it works is that the funds that it generates will be injected or within the system, and it will create employment as well. And the safety feature will be addressed that we're proposing here is by use of monitoring systems installed within the cabs that are going to be part of the transport system. And in addition to the other monitoring infrastructure that we may already have within the city. So that's what we have. And next, we are going to with the methodology will be explained in detail by Mr. Sohail.
So, before explaining the methodology, I will add something more. So, for example, in Peshawar, we have a service that is like Uber. It's called Kareem. But what I personally think is the problem with Kareem with respect to our area is that Kareem lies somewhere from the UAE, right? So whatever that company is earning, so that is taking the money from the already troubled region of Peshawar. So our idea is that instead of draining money from such regions, why not circulate the money within that area? Okay. So for this purpose, first of all, so just like Kareem, there is also another competitor. So first, we have to study the market. So for that, we will conduct an as-is study. And then we will come up with a 2B analysis. So after that, we will perform the gap analysis, and the gap analysis will be along two streams. So what is the social aspect of this system, and the technical aspect or the technology that will be used. So it's basically a kind of process re-engineering. So based on our gap analysis, we will come up with a re-engineered process that how this system should work. On the other hand, we will also do impact assessment. So for this purpose, we will conduct a survey before implementing this project, and that survey, of course, it will have its own details. And after the project is being implemented, so we'll conduct again the same survey, and we will see whether the project has an impact, with the hope that it will.
Before I hand over to Ursula, I think one of the important things about today is the communication and the differences between us. There's been some close collaboration, and it's been from one extreme over here, which is my demonstration to the rest of my group of how to remove a post-it correctly. So that was one side of technology, right over to this side, and then we had a brilliant explanation of the Internet of Things right over here. So we had one extreme by simple post-its, and then Sohail beautifully explaining the Internet of Things to such a level that I understood what that meant. And I think that's one of the things, that's collaboration. The other thing we have to do, we have to grab people's attention, and we have to make sure people understand what we want. So if you've been on Twitter today, you'll have seen that we've got the support of two renowned Lollywood actors. So we have Amina Khan. So who knows Amina Khan? All right then. Fawad Khan. Okay, so are they a couple? I don't know. So having people like that, giving them this project the support, so that we can continually focus on our customers, the vulnerable people in society, and give them what they want. And now I'll hand over to Arslan, who will talk about how we're going to do this and over what sort of time scale.
Well, Arslan steps up. As you know, Pakistani dramas are well known throughout the world, and what we envisage also is that our smart system is integrated within those dramas, so you can see people actually using it and seeing it being well used on television. So again, it changes the culture, and we already have a culture of sharing cards anyway, so it will make it more normalised.
Okay. Coming towards the work packages, we will be breaking down the whole project in 5 different work packages, which are going to be further broken down later on. The first work package would be the launch of the project, employment staff, and allocating different tasks to them. The first 3 months of the project will go to that. The second work package would be to review the current network, the current transportation system within Pakistani cities and at UK as well. The third work package would be to start collection of data regarding the present transportation network and the one which we want to develop, which we want to improve further. And we will be developing the specifications and the codes for that as well. 3 months would be dedicated to that. Then afterwards, we will be having a pilot deployment of the project, and we will see if the model developed works well or not. If there are any problems in it, we would be revisiting and we would be resolving the issues that arise.
And at the last, we will be disseminating all the results and conclusions of the project through internet or through different publications, and we will be presenting our recommendations that we come up with. Thank you.
So I want you to imagine now that where we are now, we are currently in a place in Pakistan where there is already a car sharing culture, but actually in Peshawar has got is the second most polluted city in the world according to the World Health Organization. In Manchester, we've got a situation where the Lancet, which you might know, renowned medical journal, says the pollution has caused more deaths in the UK than any other country in Europe. So we are at a point where we could do something, and if we don't do anything, we're actually going to be in a very, we're not going to be doing our children and our communities justice. So this is the point where we actually have to do something. So I now want you to think about those women and those young people and those children that are standing at the side of the road in the heat, because you will know that you will have seen that yourselves. Some of them are carrying loads. And I want you to project yourself in the future after this project has been implemented and disseminated, where those women and children and young people and people that have got disabilities are able to conveniently access a vehicle which will take them to a place of work or to a school, which will raise not only their income but also their opportunities, because this lack of access to transport and employment has an impact on child marriages. Girls are married early for this reason, because of lack of opportunities in work and employment. We know that with a reduction in that, we have an improvement in the outcomes of every member of the family and the future generations as well. And that's in Peshawar. And then in the UK, we will be in a situation where our young people currently, if you're a young person that lives in one part of Manchester, you are not able to get to lucrative work opportunities. One of the best places to work is our airport. It can take you hours to get to our airport, to a job that can lead you into a career for life. So we can change that with a project like this. Thank you very much. So are there any questions? Okay, questions. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them via Twitter before you vote, or something like that before you vote. Thank you.
But now I request, while we are doing the vote, the other group, I think the last group, my group, will be ready. I would like you to come here while you will be doing this. Sorry? You don't want us to vote? No, you will vote from here, so you are prepared, well prepared. Of course, you have that right. Some kind of democracy there.
Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Starting from here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Obviously,
It is supplementing the existing, I mean, already we have the BRT.
somehow they're talking about then they're talking about
I think about dedicated,
and where is the cost? At what cost?
sort of a system which is very, which is also mobile based.
It's not zero.
It's not going to say this start of someone like from security point of view. We don't give a right to someone, we don't give a right to someone.
It's economical.
They give free rights.
Yeah, there are discounts, there are promotions, and it's basically very secure for neighbors. Very willing. The shower is getting very tough.
The reason being is like we are the 5 persons.
I personally with Kareem sometimes putting so much rush on university road and BRT road and some of that. So I prefer to use Kareem. You say? It's fine.
Okay, cool.
So, are we moving? No.
Pause.
No, it's just up there. Now we have there we have a question. We don't have it there.
No, you have to refresh it, I guess.
Question 6? Oh, what? No, it was matrix 6.